wrap up the regular season on a positive note tonight.
We did, you know, which is a change actually for us. I mean, this has been a great journey right here, and a lot of learning to, you know, obviously to learn how to finish off the season the right way. So I'm real excited about it.
In the first half, DJ Final went for 22 points, and you were much better on him in the second half. He scored only 5 in the second half. What adjustments did you make on Final?
You know what? We really didn't make many adjustments at all. I think the thing is he's a very good player. He's a very good player. He's very smart. He's very strong. He's a lot stronger than what people give him credit for. He can get to the basket. But one of the things I thought that in the end, I was hoping that he wouldn't have any legs for the second half. They asked a lot of him in the first half. We ended up bringing a little bit more pressure in the second half and speeding up the pace a little bit. And I think that might have taken a toll on him. But he's a really good player. I mean, we didn't really do a whole lot to be able to stop him tonight.
It looked for a moment like Ron Schultz was going to give him a run for his money in the second half. He starts off the second half. I think he scored 12 in a row at one point. Ends up with 29 points, but Ron was in his zone there for a while.
He was. You know, we had to call his number a couple of times, and we had to call his number actually out of what we normally do. But we needed to be aggressive. We got into the bonus a little bit earlier, so at that point in time, we needed to be aggressive and put the pressure on the referees too, and put the pressure on the basket and see if they'll make the calls. But one thing we couldn't do is continue to stay outside and just keep shooting jumpers.
Gary England, just 7 minutes today. I saw him icing his knee on the bench. What's the outlook on Gary?
You know what? I'm not real sure. I got to get back there and visit with Kat and get an understanding of his situation. But I think at halftime he had just a little bit of swelling on his knee, so we wanted to be careful and just sit him out until, you know, that thing heals up. There was really not a need to put him back into the game and try it out and lose him for the rest of the season. So I think he'll be okay. But once I get back there to Kat, I'll get a chance to find out.
Now, was there something that happened in the game today that specifically caused that injury?
You know what? I'm not sure. I think he got that steal and he went down for a fast break, and maybe he just pushed off of it wrong. But I think it was just a tweak. And let's hope that that's all it was. But that was it. It was nothing, you know, major or collision or anything like that. I mean, it was actually happened right after that steal and that layup that it. So once we get back there, I'll see what the prognosis is.
Now, the semi-piece of good news there is Evan Durenas filled in quite admirably, particularly defensively tonight. I thought this was definitely Evan's best game.
I tell you what, he really came in. The one thing that we wanted to do is we asked those underclassmen to sell out for the seniors. And I think Evan did a great job of doing that. I mean, he was so selfless. He threw his body around. He defended. He made great decisions defensively. And he really helped us at the time that we really needed some help.
You out-rebounded John Brown, who's a good rebounding team, 44-37. And second chance points all even at 10, but then hold your own against the big guys from the
They're huge. And that was one of our emphasis. We knew that if we wanted to have a chance to win this game, that we were going to have to be on the glass and have to compete on the glass. And those two guys, like I said, well, actually 3 of them, they're very big. They're very talented as far as moving around and getting second chance opportunities. So we're fortunate. But even when you talk about not having your double-double guy on the floor, so hats off to our guys for competing like that.
I know you don't like to look too far ahead as far as the regular season is concerned, but we've reached the end of the regular season, and so I got to ask you, at this point, do you think you've done enough to get yourself into the national tournament at this point in time?
You know what? I hope so. I mean, you know, I think we've made an incredible run in the second half of the conference, and this is no easy conference to do that in. And I think any time that you put yourself in position to be second in this conference or first in this conference, I'm hoping that that's enough of work that you need to do to get in. But at the end of the day, we told our guys that we have to earn our way in. And if we haven't done that by now, we'll continue to do that and try to do that in the conference tournament. But people across the country have to understand that the Sooner Athletic Conference is a very, very tough conference. There are absolutely no nights off. So we'll see.
Do you fear that works against teams in the Sooner Athletic Conference, being that everybody kind of beats up on themselves and gives you maybe an inflated number of losses?
You know what, it may. I think it's one of those things that's two-sided. I mean, yes, because we beat up on each other, it doesn't keep a consistent #1 guy at the top all the time. But at the same time, I think once we do get to, as far as the Sooner Athletic Conference gets to the national tournament, I think we're more prepared than a lot of teams in the country because we've been through a ton of adversity. No nights off. Every week is a preparation for a team that can easily make it to the national tournament. We have, I think, currently we may have 3 or 4 teams ranked in the top 25 in the country. So I think it has its benefits, and at the same time it has its it hurts them a little bit. But I tell you, once you get to the conference national tournament, you should be well prepared.
You guys will grab the number 2 seed for the conference tournament, which is here at Abe Lemons Arena coming up later this week. Talk about your outlook for the week.
You know what? I think, well, first and foremost, we're going to take a little time off and find out where Gary's at. Probably come in tomorrow and just get some rest and watch some film, and then start working on Wednesday. I think we'll probably try to figure out what we can do, find a gym somewhere here, either here or somewhere else, for early practice, and just kind of go through our stuff, really, because we won't know who we're going to play until I think maybe Wednesday night or Thursday morning. So we just got to really focus in on this.
All right, Coach. Thanks very much.